Welcome back, everybody. It is the 3rd of March and I just got home from work and figured I'd go walk around the food plots a little bit. The snow has melted a little bit. It needs to melt a lot more than it has, but figured I'd walk around here and see if there's anything sticking up out of the snow. You can see the brassica, they've really been digging at it and chewing it up. Doing an initial glance across the food plot here, I don't see anything sticking out. They were really digging in here though. Well, no luck on my little walk through here. I already picked a whole bunch of sheds out of here, but I was thinking that with it melting, if there was anything that didn't stick out and was maybe visible on top, I would be able to pick it up. But I think I've already picked up all the horns that were visible. No new ones popped up with the last little melt we had. I'm sure there's a bunch of little ones underneath all the snow. There isn't any big ones sticking up, I know that. Let's go, I got the chainsaw with me, we'll go cut some wood. This is a tile line that pops out right here. It runs out through the cornfield. Well, there's a bunch of lines that meet one and it comes right through here, and this is where the tile line ends in the ground. And you can see all that water that runs through here. It's almost like a spring, but that's where that tile line, all those lines meet, and they come out right through here. The deer like that because even in the harshest of cold snow, there's always running water right there, so they come and drink out of it. On the way to cut wood, I just checked this new GardePro camera that I have, and this camera has been absolutely awesome this fall. I've been testing it out for quite a while, and I'm going to put a link in the description below to this camera through EOT Club. I think it's 5 or 10% off if you click on the link, but feel free to check them out. These cameras take unreal video and pictures, and the other thing that's incredible is the audio. I mean, the audio is crazy. I'll show you guys some footage from it right now on the video before we cut wood, but I was just going by and I'm like, well, I better grab the cart out of there. There's been lots of deer in this food plot digging as well. On my way back to cut some wood, I want to check out under this big hemlock tree over here. There's a 2-year-old buck that I drove by multiple times cutting wood this year that was always bedded right under that tree. So I'm curious if his sheds, if one of his sheds are laying there or not. The raccoons were out and about last night. Looks like that's their den tree right there. It looks like those tracks go right in over there. Oh yeah, big den tree. See those raccoons coming in and out of there. I don't see them, but it's definitely where they're going in and out of. That maple's totally dead. How to cut that thing down. So right here is where that buck was oftentimes bedding. There's a bed right there, and a couple beds. I do not see any horns. There's another bed. Looks like we struck out on the antlers. I wondered if there'd be one laying under here or not, but no luck from what I can see. Well, we're back here in the hidey hole food plot. You guys can see, and there's been a whole lot of deer back here chewing on these treetops and digging in the food plot. See them all digging right down to the good stuff down in there. That almost looks like blood right there. What the heck is that? Maybe like super dark urine. Weird looking either way. Most of the deer have shed by now, but there could get lucky and find one laying in these tops somewhere. You can see the deer were going all the way up in there. Every single one of these are nipped off. It's pretty wild. Couple beds. No sheds sticking out that I can see. We'll go ahead and fire the saw up and do some cutting. we got a quick little load here, and the chainsaw needs sharpened. That sucker is getting pretty dull. I've gone quite a while without sharpening it, and now you can really, I can tell these logs that have the rotten center to them, they tend to really dull the saw up pretty quick, going through all of this crap where it's rotten in the middle. That's a wide load right there. That's a big chunk. In this case, when I don't have my splitter here, I'll just take it in little strips and then cut it, you know, into manageable pieces, as much as I have to. But the end goal here is going to be pretty awesome. Eventually, it'll be that this entire food plot will be hunted not from the stump 3 with a rifle, but from the stump 4. I don't know if you can see it over there, but I have an orange cone on top of it. You can just barely see it through right there, and it's about 275 yards from where I stand to where that is right there. And the goal is, once rifle season starts, you know, I won't have any intrusion whatsoever in here at all. You know, that won't be hunted unless I'm hunting with a bow. I'll be able to get in and out all from coming right up along the edge of the creek and entering and exiting kind of in the back door over there. So none of this will be touched, none of this bedding over here or over here. So the deer will have access to this food plot and everything without me being anywhere near it. You know, I'll be able to hunt it from the edge and get in and out without causing any disturbance eventually. You know, it's taken a lot of work to get it to this point, but getting rid of a lot of these dead ash trees and these soft maples that had a huge canopy will be able to let a lot more light in here. And this is actually really good soil right here. It's all creek bottom soil, so has lots of nutrients and grows stuff really well as long as it gets light. So it's been a lot of work to get it to this point, but we're getting there. I'm going to take and all along the edge of the swamp right here, I'm going to plant some trees, some sawtooth oaks and chestnut trees all along that edge right there. So we'll have, you know, 10 years, 10, 15 years down the road, we'll have a bunch of feed trees in here along with a food plot. So of course I'm really looking at this long term here. If I just keep hacking away at it every winter, we'll get to the point that I want it. We'll head out with her. She's a low rider now, got a lot of weight on her. This is kind of interesting right here. There's a sluice pipe that goes under to the creek right here, and there's a bunch of otter and mink tracks that go in. See where the otters are coming up out of the ice, where they're dragging their tail through there. Then they're going right through here into the sluice, and then out of the sluice, and they're all going the same direction up over in there. So I wonder what they're kind of want to go see if they're chewing on something over there or if they're eating something, or going right through here. heck of a deer trail. I thought maybe that those otters were going and eating on something, but I don't see. Whoa! I got snow in my boot. That's really deep. Just a huge deer trail going through there. I'm not gonna keep going because it gets thicker and thicker, but I thought maybe those otters were gonna be going to something, but I don't really see what they would have been going after. Well, it's kind of funny. I just came out from this thick brush in here. There's the stump 3, and look at that bed. The deer bed. That's a great spot. Deer was bedding directly underneath it. Well, it's the next day, and just got home from work, and it's the warmest day we've had in a long time. And I just came down here into the food plot. I'm gonna walk around, and still need most of the snow to melt. There's still way too much snow, but I want to walk around either way. It's just way too nice to not come out and walk around. I've got my little Marlin 22. I just saw a chipmunk running through the woods, and I took a crack at it. So let's see if I got it or not. And the first shot I've taken with the 22 in a long time. We'll see if we still got it. It's running right through here, and I try to remember where it was. I'm thinking, oh, actually I think it was over here. Oh, I see blood. I think we got. Sitting on that log. There's blood right there. There's blood over there. I'll be darned. There's a chipmunk. One less chipmunk. There are absolute cow paths coming off of these food plots, coming in into these big pines to bed. There's an old bed. You can see on all these high points, there's just deer beds everywhere in here. There, right there. This is where I actually found HLB's sheds a few years ago, laying right over here next to the food plot. And I think I see a shed. I found that live as I was talking on camera. Right there. Ha! Look at that. Holy crap, look at... Oh. That is not a shed. That is an entire deer. That's not good. What in the world? Oh. I know what deer this is. So this deer, I knew this deer died. So this deer got an arrow wound high in the shoulder during archery season on a neighboring property. And he was living right here in the food plot, and he would hardly ever leave. And I didn't realize it. I could have shot him a few times, but I didn't know he was wounded. The nights I saw him, he would just stand up out of his bed, which was literally right in here. And I never saw him actually walking until I saw him on a trail camera. He walked by the trail camera, and then I could see he was really hurting bad. And, you know, otherwise I would have shot him and at least put him out of his misery, but I didn't know it. I actually videoed him bedded down under the hemlock tree right in between the two food plots with a drone one day. I feel bad. You know, I could have shot him that day too, but here I just didn't know he was that badly wounded. He's got a nasty arrow wound right up here in his shoulder. He shed that other antler right not long before he died. I bet you this one will bust right off. Oh, yep. Well, he shed it. Not how I was hoping. Let's see this. This other arrow wound is high in the shoulder blade right here. I'll come once things melt more, I'll come back and show you that arrow wound, and maybe we'll even cut into it and see if we can find. I think the arrow is still, I think the broadhead's actually lodged in there and got infected, which is why he died. But boy, that was really bizarre. There's a lot of different emotions really quick right there. I went from there's a shed to walking over and going, oh, there's a whole deer attached to that horn. It was pretty covered up. You know, it shows you that there'll certainly be sheds that are covered up that we can't see, but yeah, that's sad, unfortunate. Beautiful 2-year-old buck. One that would have been a really nice deer next year. It is what it is. You can't save them all. I just feel bad. I wish I would have shot it when I had the opportunity to a few times, but I just didn't know that it was that badly wounded. It is what it is. Let's move on. This is my first time walking in these pines, and the amount of deer sign in here is incredible. I mean, there's just cow paths and deer beds everywhere in here. Pretty wild. There's a bed, there's a bed, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, there are deer beds everywhere you look in here. The other thing that I noticed about this dead buck that we found is that notice the critters haven't touched it. You know, nothing's chewed on at all. The coyotes, fox, fishers, nothing's chewed on it at all, which means I think it's full of you know, I'm pretty positive, confident in saying it's full of infection. Well, I see something that resembles a horn, or the shape of a horn, right there. Let's go see. Looks like a pretty big one if it is. Oh, that is not a horn. That sucker got me from a long ways away. Look at that. Not what I was expecting. That's the type of shape I keep my eyes peeled for, though. Can't believe all the beds in here. I mean, this is that thick hemlock thermal cover right off the edge of these food plots, and I never walked in here one time. Never stepped foot in here during hunting season, ever. And holy cow, did the deer make it home. When this snow melts, there's going to be lots of horns laying around here. I think that a lot of them are still covered up. Look at the size of this deer trail going through here. It's going out toward Nebraska and the corn. It's absolutely massive. Man, it feels really good just to have some warmer weather. Geese are flying into the swamp. It's supposed to be 50 degrees again tomorrow, which should really melt a lot of this. So right in here where I'm at is where the heavy 9s antlers are going to be. I am pretty confident that this is right where he dumped them. He was walking right into these pines, and this is where he was bedding, going to and from the food plots about the time that he lost them. There might be too much snow right now to see them, but I would put a heck of a wager on those horns laying right in here somewhere. If I stumble upon them, I'll turn you on and show you. I find this stuff really interesting. We're right down in the swamp right here, and I was following a big deer trail that came off the main ridge over there. And you come up to these hummocks, these little high spots, and look at all the beds on here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds all on this one little high spot in the swamp, in this hummock. And I mean, you see that with pretty much all of these high spots. You can see them over there. And then, whoa, right here, there's a high spot, bed. It's just interesting to me. Right there's a bed. And all these little high spots, you find beds, and they're totally hidden in here. I mean, it's all super thick swamp. Pretty cool. Well, I see another horn-like looking thing, but I think it's a stick. Has a horn shape to it, though. Let me go look. Yep, it's a stick. Those darn curved sticks right there really surprised me. Well, I see another dead deer up here. Button buck. That's unfortunate. Well, I just found one of the trail cameras I was missing. There goes a whole bunch of deer off the food plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holy smokes. There's a lot of them. I don't see any horns on any of them. They all appear to be hornless. But anyways, here's the trail camera that a bear had ripped down. You can see it actually broke the strap. Snapped the strap right off. And smashed the, you can see the lens is smashed. So this thing is shot. Looks like the bear chewed on it. Oh yeah. I don't think this camera is gonna work anymore. Well, if the card works, I'll show you what's on there right now. I doubt it's gonna work, but if it does, you'll see it.